Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first ever video of mine that you've clicked on, welcome. My name is Pip and I'm a North East mummy vlogger. I make all sorts of videos to do with parenting, organisation, lots of speed cleaning, hauls. We do lots of vlogs out and about. So if that sounds like your cup of tea and you like what you see, click that red subscribe button down below to keep up to date with all of my uploads. So today's video is going to be the new mum tag created by mega mummy YouTuber Emily Norris. I will leave a link to her video below. So let's get started. Question number one is, what is your fave mum hack? So my favourite mum hack is when you give your little one a carton of juice, it is to open the sides so they can use it as a handle. So rather than squeezing the juice and it going everywhere, use the little sides as a handle and then they can drink out the straw, pop it back on the table and there's no mess. Question number two is your most embarrassing mum moment. Apart from the odd tantrum that Izzy's had in public, that would have been pretty embarrassing. I haven't had that many, but when I was pregnant, I suffered from horrendous HG. And I remember going back to work. I had about 20 weeks off work at the start of my pregnancy, and I had to get the bus into work and I felt so sick. And as soon as I got off the bus, I had to run down alley to be sick. It was horrendous. And a man, this old man, bless him, just came up the alley and he said, "Oh, you're right, love." I said, "Yes, I'm just pregnant." Bleh. And he must have thought that, because I wasn't showing very much either, he must have just thought, gosh, she's been out on the lash the night before and she's just, you know, on her way to work being sick down an alley. It was just, yeah, horrendous, horrendous. Next question. Question number three is, what part of the day do you love the most? I like the wind down time, so after tea we have a little bit of quiet time. She'll perhaps come and sit next to me on the settee and have a bit of a snuggle, watch a bit of CBeebies, and then up to bed, get her bathed, into bed, have a little story. That's my favourite sort of time of the day. Question number four is, what part of the day do you like the least? I would say most definitely the morning time. Izzy has somehow got herself into a routine of waking up between 5:15 and 5:30 every morning, coming into our room and getting into bed with us to have a cuddle, but she'll not just lie there and go back to sleep. She'll be sitting up and poking us in the back and jumping up and down, and it's just horrendous. We've got a grow clock, but she just takes absolutely no notice of it. So at the moment, between 5:15 and 5:30 in the morning is my least favourite time of the day. Question number five is, what is the worst thing someone has said to you when you were pregnant? I think it would have been something along the lines of, yeah, I had really bad morning sickness too. I felt sick all the time. Yeah, it lasted until about week 12 and then I was fine. And I was like, yes, my morning sickness, I've been in and out of hospital on a drip. I can't even keep water down. Yeah, people not understanding the seriousness of hyperemesis gravidarum and thinking that I've just got morning sickness. I think comments along those lines were probably the worst for me. Question number six is a baby name you didn't agree on. We were pretty set with our names that we'd chosen for a boy and a girl from very early on. For a boy, we wanted to call him Max. We were very set on that, either Max Logan or Max Harry. And for a girl, we were more or less set on Isabel from the beginning. So we agreed, really. We didn't have any names that we didn't agree on. Question number seven is, do you co-sleep? No, we don't. Sometimes Izzy will come and sleep in with me if she's not feeling very well, or if Anthony is away on a business trip or something like that. She'll perhaps come and sleep in with me. But I do tend to find that she just starfishes across the bed and I end up sleeping right on the edge. Izzy slept in our room with us in a Moses basket and then in a travel cot up until she was 6 months old, exactly 6 months old. And then Anthony put his foot down and said, right, she's old enough to go into her own room now. I would have preferred really to have kept her a little bit longer in our room, but it's worked out for the best, really, I think, and she does really enjoy sleeping in her room, and she does overall sleep really well. She sleeps from 7 till 5:15, 5:30, and then that's up for the day, but she does tend to sleep through. Question number 8 is something you bought but never used. So we bought and were given a lot of muslin cloths and never used them. Izzy has been sick about 5 or 6 times since she was born. We've been very, very lucky. I think she must have known, like subconsciously, that I've got a bit of a fear of sick. Like not just my own, but like other people's, well mainly other people's. So she was just, so she wasn't sick. That's what I sort of tell myself anyway. So yeah, she wasn't a sicky baby, so we just never used them. Question number 9 is 3 hospital bag must-haves. Okay, the first thing is the huge maternity pads. You've got to have them. You need them. The second thing would be lightweight pyjamas. I don't know about where you gave birth, but in my hospital it was absolutely red hot, and I only took 2 pairs of pyjamas with me. Never in a million years thought I'd be in there for a week after giving birth. So I had to send Anthony out to Primark to get some more pyjamas. Of course he bought the thickest, heaviest, warmest pyjamas he could find, so I was absolutely sweltering. So plenty of pairs of lightweight pyjamas. And the third thing, oh gosh, I don't know, what else did I take with me? Big knickers. Big knickers. I had an emergency C-section, and so big knickers were an absolute must. The higher up you can get them, the better. Question number 10 is, are you a routine mum or are you a go with the flow mum, and what does bedtime look like? So when it comes to things like meal times and bedtime, we do have a routine. We eat at the same time every day, and make sure she has snacks at a similar time every day. And the bloody hell was that? So bedtime for us is, I aim to have Izzy asleep by 7 o'clock. So we start about 6:15. We tend to have our tea later on because Anthony finishes work at 6. So as soon as he comes through the door, we have a family tea together, and then Izzy goes straight upstairs into the bath. She'll have a quick shower. I tend to wash her hair maybe once or twice a week, but she'll have either a shower or a bath every night. And then into pyjamas, brush her teeth, make sure she has a wee, and then into bed, and we'll have a bedtime story. And then come 7 o'clock, it's lights out, and hopefully she is fast asleep. Question number 11 is, what type of labour did you have? What pain relief did you choose? So I was induced. I had the beginnings of preeclampsia, and it all started because I had pulled a muscle in my side. So 2 weeks before having Izzy, I had the most horrendous cough, and I coughed to such an extent that I pulled a muscle in my ribs, like around my ribs. And I was trying to get some pain relief. Paracetamol wasn't cutting it, and I was trying to just get something to take that would enable me to stop coughing and get some sleep. That didn't happen, but we did end up in hospital with preeclampsia, so I ended up being induced, and it wasn't exactly the birth I had planned. I planned this lovely relaxing water birth with no pain relief whatsoever and just breathing through it. That didn't happen. So my labour lasted about 27 hours. I had gas and air, and I think I had diamorphine, I want to say, is that the right word? And then I had an epidural. I think I got to about 4 or 5 centimetres before I had the epidural. And then obviously once you've had an epidural, you can't get off the bed and walk about, so the labour slowed down. Izzy, they tested the pH balance. They took a sample of blood from her scalp, did that twice and tested the pH balance, and the second time she was in distress. So I was rushed down to theatre with a category 1 emergency C-section, and she was whipped out in minutes. But because of that, I lost quite a lot of blood and ended up having a blood transfusion, and that's why I was in hospital for more or less a full week. So not the birth I had planned, but I felt safe, you know, and I knew the doctors knew what they were doing. I was in safe hands. I wasn't worried at any time. I just sort of went with the flow, and I absolutely loved the gas and air, loved it. I was absolutely off my face, absolutely loved it. So yeah, not the best birth story, but we got there in the end, and she came out safe and healthy. So yeah. Question number 12 is, have you ever been mum shamed? And I don't think I have. And to be honest, if somebody did say something to me about my parenting style, I tell them where to go. Who has the right to tell me how to raise my child? If it's a friend giving me advice, then fair enough. But if it's someone blatantly shaming me for the way I'm doing something, then, you know, get lost, basically. Just do one. I'm not going to take a blind bit of notice, and I'll certainly tell you where to go. So that's that. Next question. The next question is, the biggest challenges you've faced since becoming a mum. I would say the biggest one, it's not very much to do with parenting as such, but after my maternity leave, when I was on maternity leave, I had a really good group of friends, and we met up regularly, and all our babies were of a similar age, and it was lovely. We kept each other company, and you know, we got through all of the first stages of, you know, having a young baby together, and it was really lovely. And then after that first year, everyone went back to work, and I didn't, and I was sort of left, and I felt very lonely, very isolated. I didn't really have any friends I could meet up with during the week, and it was just me and this little baby, and I just felt just alone, basically. But I made a plan. I created a spreadsheet of all of the baby classes in the local area and things I could attend, and I just went to them, and I just forced myself to speak to people, and I now have the most lovely, loving group of friends who I could not live without. And I'm so glad that I forced myself to talk to people and get to know people and make friends, because without them, my mum life would look very, very different, I think. So yeah, that part, it was only maybe a couple of months, but that was the hardest for me, I think, so far. Yeah, I'm sure there's more to come. Question 14 is, the best bit of advice you've ever been given, the biggest piece of advice you'd give to a new mum. I would say go with your instincts. You'll be given so much advice while you're pregnant in the early days, and your head will just be swimming with, you know, your mother said don't do this, or someone said do that. Just go with the flow and go with what your instincts tell you. Only you know what is best for your baby, and that is the best advice that someone has been given to me, and that is the advice that I also give out to pregnant friends, or, you know, friends that have just had a new one. Listen to your gut, go with your instinct. Only you know what is best for your little one. And question 15 is, who is your mum crush? So there's so many like amazing mums that I follow on Instagram and YouTube. I'd have to say Rosie Ramsey. Absolutely love her. I just love her. I'm sure you follow her on Instagram. She's just absolutely hilarious, and she's got a little boy, Robin, who is 3, and she's married to the comedian Chris Ramsey, but to be fair, I think Rosie is funnier than Chris. Mrs. Meldrum, absolutely loved her, followed her since the very early days. Oh, I've got pins and needles. She is the one YouTuber I always search for to see if her new videos have popped up in my inbox. I love watching her videos. And also Rebecca Lamb, who I met last September at the Northern Blog Awards. She's so lovely. She's got 2 young boys, and I'm sure, again, you follow her on Instagram and YouTube. She's just such a lovely, warm, friendly person. I am going to tag anyone who would like to do this video. Feel free. I wasn't tagged, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I did. And specifically, I'm going to tag Rebecca Lamb, Donetta from David and Donetta, and who else? Hayley from My Happy Ever After. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to press that red subscribe button. I do lots of different videos, lots of vlogs, lots of hauls. I do a monthly what is new in Primark, which is always very popular. Yeah, lots of vlogs, lots of days out, that type of thing. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, press that red subscribe button down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.